So, what really separates the investing legends from, well, everyone else? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not some complicated, secret formula. It's actually a set of timeless principles. And we're going to break down the wisdom of the masters into 7 simple, powerful rules that you can actually start using. Let's dive in. But before we even get to rule number 1, we have to start with a story. It's about a 10-year-old kid, and it reveals everything you need to know about the mindset of an investing genius, long before he ever even thought about buying a stock. So picture this. The boy is a young Warren Buffett. After all the horse races were over for the day, he'd go to the track and just patiently sort through all the trash, picking up every single discarded betting ticket he could get his hands on. He had this simple idea. He just believed that in that giant mountain of losing tickets, someone somewhere had to have accidentally thrown away a winner. And here's the crazy part. He was always right. Every single time he'd find winning tickets. Now, since he was just a kid, he couldn't cash them himself, so he'd give them to his aunt to do it. And this one little habit, this patient, diligent search for hidden value where nobody else was even looking, that became the absolute bedrock of his entire investing philosophy. And that story, it's the perfect lead-in to our foundational rules. Because you see, great investing isn't just about the stocks you pick. It's about how you think. It's all about what's going on up here. So the first 4 rules are all about mastering your mindset. So that brings us to rule number 1. Learn constantly. Read a lot. Just like he sifted through every single ticket, Buffett is convinced that the greatest thing that compounds in your life isn't your money, it's your knowledge. I mean, even today, the man reads for 5 to 6 hours a day. He's always on the hunt for more information because he knows that's the ultimate advantage. All right, this next part is kind of wild, but there is this fascinating experiment that proved a huge point about simplicity, and it leads us right to our second rule. So the question is, can a bunch of kids actually beat the Wall Street pros at their own game? Well, the results kind of speak for themselves, don't they? Over a 2-year period, the portfolio these 7th graders picked returned an incredible 70%. And in that same time, the S&P 500, the benchmark for the pros, was only up 26%. They absolutely crushed the market. So how on earth did they do it? Well, their secret was rule number 2, and it's an idea from their teacher that is just so simple, it's brilliant. They were only allowed to invest in companies that they could easily understand and explain with a crayon. Yeah, you heard that right. If they couldn't draw what the company did and explain it in simple terms, they weren't allowed to buy it. And that wasn't their only secret weapon. They were also taught rule number 3, which is another really powerful idea. If you want massive, long-term growth, you should probably think small. Because if you're looking for those truly exponential returns, smaller companies just have way more room to run than the established giants. And this illustrates the point perfectly. I mean, think about it. For a smaller company to grow 10 times, it might need to go from a valuation of, say, 100 crore to 1,000 crore. That's a big jump for sure, but it's totally possible. Now, for a giant company to do the same, it would have to go from 16 lakh crore to an almost unimaginable 160 lakh crore. It's just so much easier for a speedboat to double its speed than it is for a massive oil tanker. And that brings us to rule number 4. Hold no more stocks than you can actually follow. Come on, your brain has limits, right? You can't effectively keep tabs on dozens and dozens of companies. So stop building a portfolio that looks like a zoo with one of everything. Instead, you want to curate a small, elite collection of companies that you understand inside and out. So how many companies does a master like Buffett think you need? 10? 20? Nope. His answer might shock you. Just 3. He really believes that if you can find only 3 truly wonderful businesses over your entire lifetime, that is more than enough to achieve incredible financial success. I mean, think about that. Just 3. That's it. Okay, so we've got the mindset down. That's the foundation. But now for the really fun part. How do you actually find those wonderful businesses? Well, let's get into the next 3 rules, which are all about the practical how-to side of things. And for rule number 5, we're going to borrow a little piece of wisdom from another absolute legend, Peter Lynch. His big idea was that the best investment ideas are often hiding in plain sight. They're right in front of your face. So the classic story goes that Lynch noticed his daughters and all their friends were suddenly obsessed with this store called The Body Shop. So he looked into it, found out it was this fast-growing, really profitable company, and he made a fortune. And this same principle applies everywhere. Think about the crazy popularity of Royal Enfield bikes, or the fact that Britannia biscuits are in kitchens all across the country. When you see great products that people absolutely love, that's your first sign of a potentially great business. Okay, rule number 6 is going to save you so much time and energy. Seriously, forget about trying to time the market. So many people waste 99% of their energy trying to guess what's going to happen next week or next month. The masters know this is a complete fool's game. Just focus on finding and owning excellent businesses and trust that the market will eventually recognize their success. And finally, we get to the big one, rule number 7. This is maybe Warren Buffett's single favorite indicator of all time. It's not revenue, it's not even profit, it's free cash flow. Why? Because this number tells the true story of a company's health. It shows you what's really going on behind the curtain. So, what the heck is it? Well, you know how earnings or profit can be a little misleading. They can include sales that a company hasn't even collected the cash for yet. Free cash flow is different. It's the hard, cold cash that's actually left over for the owners after all the bills are paid and they've made the investments they need to keep the business running. It's the real money. Here's a really simple way to think about it. Imagine your business reports a profit of 1 crore. Sounds great, right? But what if you had to spend 99 lakhs on new equipment just to stay in business? Well, your real free cash for the year was only 1 lakh. That's the number that really matters because it shows you if a company can grow without constantly needing more money. And this real-world example just drives the point home. Back in March 2021, Reliance reported this massive profit, over 49,000 crore. But if you dig in and look at their cash flow, it was actually negative by more than 13,000 crore. Now, that doesn't automatically mean it's a bad company. They could be investing heavily for the future. But what the masters look for is a long, consistent history of positive and growing free cash flow. That's the signature of a true cash machine. So there you have it, 7 rules straight from the playbooks of the absolute masters. Let's just put it all together into a clear plan you can start thinking about today. All right, here's your cheat sheet. Number 1, always be learning because knowledge compounds. 2, know what you own. If you can't explain it simply, stay away. 3, think small to win big. 4, stay focused, don't build a zoo. 5, look for great products all around you. 6, buy great businesses, not the market's mood swings. And 7, free. Cash flow is king. That's your foundation. So now you have the playbook, the very same one used by the masters. The only question left is the one right there on your screen. Which one of these rules are you going to use first? Because knowing all this is great, but doing it, well, that's everything. Thanks for joining this explainer.